Hey guys, welcome back. Today on the car, as always, we are going to be finishing up that wiring. I got my bulkhead fitting. It's Seal It brand. So we're gonna go ahead and drill a giant hole in the firewall. Kind of scary. So I already got it pre-marked. Where I wanted to go was kind of the best place that I could do it. I believe I'm going to put the ECU, my Holley Terminator, underneath the center console, kind of underneath where there's a din, like a regular bin spot under there, right underneath the CD player or the radio or whatever's in there, and just to make it easily accessible. With this being an AC car, there's quite a bit under the dash, and on these second gen Camaros, there's not much room under there to hide anything. So right underneath the center console is about the best place that I've come up with. If you guys come up with anything better, you know, leave me a comment. But it's kind of where I'm leaning more towards. It's a few bolts to pull the center console out, so that's what we're going with. So let's get into drilling this thing, and yeah, so it's gonna be a pretty big hole. I believe it's 2 3/8. So let's get to it. Okay, so I've already marked the location where we're gonna go through the firewall with our Seal It seal. That's already I already drilled a little hole through it, and then we're gonna go back with our 2 3/8 hole saw and bore a giant hole through our firewall there. So the 2 3/8, although it's only an inch seal, the 2 3/8 will give us just right to the edge of this rubber. So leave plenty of room for our mounting locations and kind of be tucked back there out of the way. So let's get to drilling. Kind of nerve-wracking, but let's get it done. I don't know if you saw it, but be careful with your hole saws and your drills, because batteries hurt right across the face. She gripped and ripped, and it's probably don't have a nice shiner right there. So now let's finish this hole. Okay, so I got her flipped around. Took my grommet here and flipped it around and kind of shoved the part into the hole there, just to kind of hold it in place so I can mark my holes and get my holes all drilled. And after some drilling and some rivets, that's how she turned out. Not too bad. The wiring, on the other hand, we got some work to do. We're gonna try something here. It's not great, but it's a little better. Like I said, goes right through it. Once I put that air cleaner on, you ain't even gonna be able to see that wiring. So now let's go transition inside here. Okay, now we're inside. Let's get the center console out of the way. Okay, we got our center console out of the way here. This is our Terminator wiring coming in. So what we're thinking for our Terminator location is actually to be right here. It's going to give us plenty of room for the wiring up in here, and be good access if we need to get to it again. Just by pulling the center console out, so don't have to pull the whole dash part. So that's kind of what we're leaning towards right there. So let's get some measurements off this Terminator and start doing some bracket design. Okay, we got her all designed up the way we want to. Now this is a piece of machinery that you guys haven't seen, that it's kind of been tucked off in the corner. We've actually had this for, oh shoot, going on 5 years now. Prior to me getting into cars, I used to do some RC racing, RC clay oval. And I used to cut my own chassis parts. So out of that now, kind of got bored with it, like I said. Ever since I was 16, I raced RC cars. So this is the machine we're going to use to make our bracket for our Holley Terminator. So what this is, material wise, this is I believe it's G10, which is usually what they use for like wiring and that type of the boards, computer boards and stuff. So I figured it'd be perfect for this. So it's nice and hard, pretty rigid, lightweight, not like we're really trying to lose some weight, just easier to cut. This stuff I normally cut underwater, but like I said, I haven't used this in a while and don't have the water system hooked up. This actually used to be, I had a separate room in the house that I used to do RC stuff out of. So this is actually the first time I've used it outside. So if you guys are looking into it, like I said, this is a stepcraft D840. This is the big one. They got a lot newer machines out now. Been pretty happy with it. Nothing too crazy. I mean, it's my first machine, so knowing what I know now, I probably would have gone with something bigger. Not really bigger size-wise, but bigger horsepower-wise. This uses like a crest. This is a crest, almost like a giant Dremel, and it works great. But there's quite a bit of flex in the gantry here. You kind of got to cut things a little slower. So, but other than that, it's not too bad. And we run that through our laptop over here, so we can go ahead and design it on our laptop, cut it from our laptop, and we actually run the machine through our laptop. So pretty simple. Like I said, I drew up a pretty simple bracket for it. We'll have to get some hardware once we get it cut and figured out how we're gonna mount it. I believe I'm gonna use some, probably gonna use some nutserts or riv nuts or whatever you want to call them in the transmission tunnel and mount it that way. So, but like I said, to be determined on that hardware. So I'll get you guys down here and get this thing set up and start cutting. So a lot of this stuff, you probably just hear my voice in the background. I'm going to move my gantry over and do a step off to 0 where I'm going to start cutting. Sliver of paper here. Basically just to get myself a 0. Just take a little sliver of paper. Slow it down a little bit. And just hold it under there. We can't move no more. And I'll go into this a little bit more once we get into actually making some bigger parts. So, get this thing all set up. And start cutting. what we got. So, bigger Holley. That gives us something to put our bolts in and bolt it to. Then also gives us 4 holes in the middle to mount to our transmission tunnel. So should work all right. Little project and get me back in the swing of using that little CNC over there. But we got some bigger ideas for that. So, and with that, I'm gonna have to order some carbon. But without diving into that too deep, let's go back in the car and see what we're kind of thinking about for hardware. So let's go figure that out. Okay, back in the car. So now we have an idea of sizing. Now we can figure out exact location and some hardware. So what I think, I'm gonna trim this carpet back. It's all underneath the center console a little bit. I think I'm gonna trim this carpet back so I can get a clear view of our transmission tunnel. Okay, we got them nice and cut back. And so now should work out perfect. We got a nice view right to our tunnel, and should work good with our nut zerts or riv nuts or whatever you want to call them. So I get these marked up and drilled and get this bracket kind of mocked up in place. I think I'm gonna have to space it up just a little bit, so I'll probably have to go to the hardware store and get some spacers. But let's get this in place. Okay, she's all in, mocked up in place. Kind of hardware is just in there. So, and I was missing a nut cert, so I got to order another 40-20 nut cert or quarter 20 nut cert, so I can, or riv nut or whatever you want to call it, and put it the rest of the way in the bracket. But I'm going to go ahead and slide my center console back on and make sure it fits. That should work perfect. Can't even tell it's in there. So No bulging on the sides or anything. Can feel up in there. It's got plenty of room. Perfect. So we'll go ahead and end that here with that project for right now. Just gotta re-loop some of the wiring underneath the dash. But pretty much that's it. As soon as I start getting the battery and everything back in permanently, we can start routing that wiring. But yeah, kind of a wrap on the Terminator as far as we can go. So we'll finish getting all that hardware in, get it permanently mounted in there, and yeah, move on to the next thing. One thing with the project, there's always the next thing. So with that, I'll let you guys go here, and like, subscribe, come back for more content, and not sure what we're gonna work on next. Might be fitting some wheels, well, simulating some wheels to try to get some fitment on that. And I got some paint work to do so that I can start wrapping up the whole front end of the car. And yeah, pretty much it. So please come back, comment. Yeah, let me know how you guys like the CNC work. It's a little desktop thing, so it's not like a true CNC machine, but it helps out with little projects like this. So yeah, we'll see you guys later. See you down the road.